Every year in the NFL, it's a new team. As far as goals go, we have one. Putting a f***ing ring on our finger.
Welcome to the Buccaneers Observer Podcast. This is Ralph Phillips.
I'm Molly Bay.
Today is January 3rd, 2021, better known as
Victory Monday.
Victory Monday. That was an entertaining game. I'm not going to lie. That was fun. You know, of course you want to see us just curb stomp everybody that gets in our path. But as I say, this is entertainment. This is all about entertainment. And that was entertaining.
You were like melting down most of the game.
That's part of the entertainment, man.
Who's that entertaining for?
For me. I like getting all kerflumped and
Good
pizzizzled.
Lord. You know, you dudes say that we're dramatic.
Yeah, we're dramatic about our sports.
You're dramatic about your sports.
Hell yeah.
Indeed.
It is. It's like a big soap opera. Speaking of which, Antonio Brown, how about that?
Is this what we're going to talk about? I think most of the thing, because the game was really crappy, in my opinion. I actually welcome the distraction of Antonio Brown acting like an idiot. Because it took attention away from the fact that we almost got whooped by the Jets.
That game went exactly as we planned. We had them right where we wanted them the whole game. You know, and then the last 15 seconds.
Those dummies gave Tom Brady the ball back with 2 minutes and 12 seconds left. And he left them with 15 seconds on the clock, which was nice of him.
Yeah. That was the only time we led during the game was the last 15 seconds. But if you're going to lead, those are the seconds that matter.
That's when you got to do it.
That was awesome. It was just a beautiful drive. They get the ball. It's 20-24, right? They're in the lead. They get the ball. They drive down the field. They're at our 6-yard line. 4th and 2. Now they could have kicked a field goal. Would have been a 7-point game.
But they got greedy.
Don't know what they were thinking. I'll be honest with you. That was just not very smart coaching. And thank God for it. And that's what we were saying during the pregame.
Ralph's still drunk.
During the video, during the game that we put out at halftime, we said, look, this is, the Jets are playing probably the best they played all year long. They brought their A game. They're going to screw up. We will capitalize on that. And then that's exactly what happened. They went forward on 4th and 2. We stuffed them. They lost a yard, I think. And we ended up getting the ball with 93 yards to go, 2 minutes and 12 seconds. And just marched down the field. And Antonio Brown, he was replaced by?
Cyril Grayson.
Cyril Grayson,
Who
Doink.
needs Antonio Brown when you have Cyril Grayson?
Yeah, at this point, we might have to retire the name Doink. That's two game-winning touchdowns he's gotten us.
You're going to end up on his Twitter feed.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Don't want that doing.
No. I don't know.
So, and Perryman showed up. Johnson showed up. It was funny. The game, we were playing horrible until the Antonio Brown kerfuffle. Mm-hmm. And then after that, boom, 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 we just started scoring.
It's like it distracted the Jets.
Yeah, it probably did distract
them.
Yeah.
By the Buccaneers?
You never know. Now, at the time of this podcast, he is still with the Buccaneers. They have not released him yet.
And the media is very upset about this.
Oh, gosh. Yeah, so anyhow, for those of you who don't know, the one person that was under a rock all the way up until they started listening to our podcast, Antonio Brown had a meltdown on the sidelines. We're not exactly sure what happened.
We keep getting conflicting reports.
Right. But he got upset, took his shoulder pads off, then took his shirt off and left the stadium, called an Uber driver. The Uber driver was filming him on Instagram, and Antonio Brown just left.
He posts videos. Apparently he's got a rap song that he released, and he keeps calling himself a super gremlin. What? Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
It's obvious the dude's got issues. I don't know if they're good or bad, but
I know.
He's got issues. And I'm not going to talk bad about him until he's released from the team. And then
officially, okay.
And then I'm going to release the Kraken.
I'm just going to point out that Rick Stroud can be a POS and Antonio Brown can be a POS at the same time. They're not necessarily mutually exclusive.
Yeah, that's what you were saying after this happened. You're like, here we've stood up for this guy for 2 years now, but especially during the whole vaccine passport card, whatever thing, and you're like, it just makes us look like idiots. I'm like, hey, what happened on the field with Antonio Brown, him having a meltdown or whatever he did, has absolutely no bearing whatsoever on the fact that Rick Stroud's just a piece of crap. It does not justify Rick Stroud's actions. As a matter of fact, I will say this. I listened to his podcast last night.
Oh, you did? Oh, was he creaming on the microphone?
Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
He's so gross.
He's going further.
Okay.
And here's the thing about these guys. They just never stop.
Yeah.
Now he wants to know who it is in the Bucs organization that allowed Antonio Brown to come back, and he wants him held accountable. That's what he was saying on the podcast. We can't have that. The problem with this, with all this, and the reason why it was able to happen was because nobody's ever held accountable. Me.
Oh my God, what a whiny little bitch. Like, who cares, Rick? Let it go.
But I'll say this. I'll say this.
Hold on a second. I hope Antonio Brown sends him that game jersey. That's what I hope happens.
That'd be funny.
I know.
Rick Stroud has been acting this whole time like, I'm just reporting the news. I don't have any vendetta. And then he turns right around and goes, Antonio Brown needs to be investigated by the FBI. He needs to go to prison. He put people's lives in danger. I mean, it's obvious Rick Stroud is biased. That he had an axe to grind
and not that
here.
It's some innocent thing. I mean, you're advocating for someone to go to prison.
Right.
Like, that's no small thing. That's a horrible, like, you're awful. You're gross.
Yeah.
You're gross.
You want him to lose his job.
Yeah.
You want him fined. And I mean, you cost that man 3 game checks. Now you can sit there and you say, hey, I didn't do anything. I just reported the news. Yeah, you didn't have to report it. You've not reported plenty of stuff. We have proof and evidence of that. When Deshaun Jackson went crazy in the locker room, started kicking over Christmas trees and displays and all that, you knew about it and you chose not to report it until a year later.
When it was convenient.
Mm-hmm. Now, I want to know what he knew about Kellen Winslow Jr. There's absolutely no way the media did not know that Kellen Winslow Jr. was masturbating in front of players, was carrying around a sex doll in the Tampa Bay locker room. And
in a suitcase, he'd travel with it.
And nobody wanted to room with him on away trips because he would just openly masturbate. There is no way Rick Stroud did not know that. And he's talking about, Antonio Brown was putting people's lives at risk. Well, Kellen Winslow Jr. went on to rape people. Maybe if you would have done some intervention, and got off your moral high horse, you could have done something to save people from getting raped. You want to talk about you saved. So anyhow, my point is Rick Stroud's not innocent in this because Antonio Brown has been here for 2 years and he hasn't had any problems at all until Rick Stroud bullied him with that article, and it might have made him snap.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. Who's to say that without that scandal and the suspension, there wouldn't have been an issue?
Right, exactly. It wasn't in a vacuum. Everything affects everything. Mm-hmm. That reminds me, have you ever seen all these like school shooters and mass shooters and stuff like that, how they're always have been known or contacted by the FBI previously? That, I'm like, what is going on here? Are we creating these people? But because it's the same thing. It's like, if you get the FBI comes to your house, it's going to make you paranoid and freak out. Mm-hmm. It's going to change your personality and behavior. And I think it's kind of the same thing with this. If you get somebody writing an article about you, about how horrible piece of crap you are and that you're going to kill grandmas, then it's going to change your personality. And who's to say that wasn't what set Brown off? Maybe he was just like, screw it. I'm done with all this mess.
Yeah.
You know? So,
well, and he's never been stable. I mean, he was stable for a while, but he's always had these ups and downs and these, outbursts and issues. And, it's like, we know that he's not a stable person. And then you're going to antagonize him.
Right. And you're going to bully and throw eggs at him.
Yeah.
And then sit there and go, be like,
that's his comfortable state. He's comfortable being like that. That's kind of his default.
I don't know. I mean, for years at Pittsburgh, there was never an issue. And then all of a sudden, boom. And, he gets released and then he goes to Oakland and boom. And it's just, there's something. Maybe he's got triggers or whatever. It seems like after that hit by Burfict that laid him out and took him out.
Stop it. That's what everyone keeps saying. He's got CTE, clearly, guys.
Well, we won't know until he's dead.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and then we know exactly what Boston University is going to report.
Yes.
So, it's just, it's one of those things where I hate that it happened. It just sucks. But, everybody's jumping to preconceived notions and conclusions and all that good stuff and not taking into consideration the fact that, hey, man, we just put that guy through the ringer. I mean, he might have been contacted by the FBI and they said, after the season's over, we're coming back and revisiting this. Mm-hmm. He might be in a total messed up state of mind over this stuff. We don't know. We don't know anything. But it was weird seeing that. You're seeing the guy just act like a fool, and you're like, there goes your career, man.
Yeah, done.
Maybe, though. He's a very talented guy. Somebody might pick him up, man. It wouldn't surprise me.
People were desperate. But we didn't release him.
Right.
And apparently this is from Adam Chapter, this is a quote, there are ongoing discussions with the NFL about how to move ahead in this situation.
Yeah, it might be a money issue. He was just a few catches away from getting that $1 million bonus. And, he kind of threw that away. I mean, the guy's made like $80 million in his career. So,
yeah,
it's not that huge.
But how much is going to child support?
Right. And legal bills and paying people off and stuff. Hey, those vaccine cards ain't cheap.
I know.
So, it could be that. It could be, the rest of the money on it. I mean, there's like $150,000. The Bucs might be, wanting to get back. They've got cause here to not pay him the rest of his money at all on his contract. So, they could, it could be any of that, but we don't know.
The whole thing is just weird. Suppose, BA's thing was he told AB to get in the game. AB said, no, my ankle's hurting. And then BA said, well, then you're done for the day. And then that's when AB walked off.
Yeah, you saw Mike Evans trying to talk to him.
And OJ apparently tried to. But then other people are saying, oh, BA didn't have anything to do with it. I don't know.
We don't know.
We're not getting a straight answer. Mm-hmm. If only we had a profession whose job it was to investigate things like this and provide the public with answers.
Oh, my goodness. Well, I've often wondered, you've got all these cameras and microphones around the end zones and the sidelines and all that good stuff. And they pick up, they got those big microphones that can pick stuff up from 100 yards away, the parabola microphones. Mm-hmm. So they're constant. They hear everything that goes on.
Oh, yeah, they have everything.
Yeah, they've got everything. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I wonder if that'll ever get out.
No.
Nah.
Absolutely.
The NFL's very, very tight with all their stuff. Man, they keep everything secret.
Yeah, like those 650,000 emails they got from Washington.
Yeah. So we'll see. We will see what happens with all this stuff. So he's still part of the team at this time.
Officially. So
not going to rag on him too bad. Wait till he gets cut, and then we'll say a little something about that.
Right. You want to get back to the Jets game?
Yeah, sure. Let's talk about it.
Okay.
So,
Anything.
it comes out right away. They just ran the ball. Bam. I mean, that Michael Carter, is that his name? He had that huge run. Was it like 53 yards or something like that?
55.
55 yards. And you know what his yardage total was on the day?
54 yards.
I thought it was 53.
It's 54.
54 yards.
He had 3 carries.
3 carries. So he lost yardage on 2 carries, but he popped off that big one. Now, looking at it, I haven't seen the game film. It's not out yet, but we missed a lot of damn tackles, man.
Yeah.
Minter.
Kevin Minter with that arm tackle. He's just like sticking out an arm.
You noticed that? Okay. Yeah. What was that? He was just.
I hate those.
Oh, man. But I mean, he wasn't even like launching or anything.
I know.
He was
not
just
trying. Like
just
they're just
holding an
running
arm
by
out.
him and he's just sticking his arm out.
Yeah. Yeah. I counted 4 of those in the first half.
By him?
Yeah. By him alone.
I don't like that.
We had a couple times where I counted 3, 4 missed tackles on a run or screen pass. And that's another thing too. This is something we've seen all year long, and it's pretty prevalent throughout the league now. And I think a lot of it has to do with us, but everybody's going to the outside on everything. I mean, if you look, they didn't do anything up the middle. Nothing. They didn't run it. They didn't pass it. I mean, everything was to the outside. And we've been getting that all year, and it's completely nullifying our front 7, really.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you don't hear anything from Devin White or Vita or Sue. They're not getting enough time to pop off, and everybody's keeping the ball away from them. Nelson did great.
Oh yeah, he
was everywhere.
Our stud. He got our only sack.
And that was a great sack, too. He beat 70, that left tackle. He just whooped him and then took down the quarterback. He had a great pass defense, too, early in the game. He dropped back into coverage, So here we got our outside linebacker dropping back into coverage, and he dove for it and batted the ball down. I was like, woo, we need more of that. And then he was doing great tackling. Yeah, he was. At this point, I would say he'd get the game ball on defense.
I think so, too. He had 3 tackles, 3 solo, a sack, 2 TFLs, a pass defense, and 1 quarterback hit.
Wow. Yeah, so I'm gonna start calling him full Nelson.
I love it. That's a good one.
He's no longer half Nelson. He's full Nelson. Yeah, he played great. He was all over the field, man.
Yeah.
And
good to see with JPP and Shaq being out.
Mm-hmm.
He's showed up.
Yeah, and I'll say that about Tryon and Cam Gill. Everybody was talking about, we need to put, Tryon out there and let him take JPP's spot. And we were saying that too. I was like, this guy, JPP's just not cutting it. He needs to rest. They've been doing okay, but man, they're nowhere. They are not Barrett and JPP.
Not even close.
Not even close. I mean, I see them do some great moves, and they got some speed, but man, they overshoot stuff. They get collapsed on the outside. They got a lot of learning to do.
Yeah,
a lot of growing.
And thank God we have JPP and Shaq there.
Yeah,
to mentor them. Sidebar, real quick. There's a video on YouTube. It's Tommy and Gronky.
That's funny. Yeah.
And they did a segment where they had questions, and they had to pick who on the team, fit the bill. So they were like, who sweats the most? And apparently it's Chris Godwin, unanimous.
Yeah, they both picked Chris Godwin.
Yeah.
They were like,
and they said he loses 14 pounds of water weight.
Yeah.
Every practice. And they asked who on the defense scares you the most. And Gronk said JPP.
Yeah, he was like,
which was hilarious.
You do not confront JPP. It's basically
yeah.
Which goes to with what I was saying, and I think the reason why he was out there as long as he was because the coaches are scared of him. I mean, not like scared, but yeah, scared.
Yeah.
Probably physically, mentally, everything.
Nobody wanted to do it.
Yeah, nobody wants to go to JPP and say, hey, man, you think you can maybe sit out a game or two and rest? If he don't want to do it, I mean, you can request it. And you could probably like legally and contractually stop, make him not. But man, you're asking for it. He's just that guy. He's that guy that, he's always talking crap and he's always competing with you and all that. And there's, this thing in the back of your head that you're like, this guy, he will fight me. He will fight me. I know he's, out here and he's talking crap, but I think his crap talk is because he really wants to fight people. And I might whoop his butt, but we're probably both going to go to the hospital. It's not worth it, man. He's like a honey badger.
Yeah.
Just constantly at you. He plays that way too.
Mm-hmm. When he's healthy.
Yeah, when he's healthy. When he ain't got a broken neck or a cracked ribs or
oh my gosh. Everything. half a hand.
Half a hand. What is it? His rotator cuff now?
Yeah, the rotator cuff.
So I like seeing Tryon out there and Cam Gill. It's fun watching those guys but they are so young. You see them just make mistake after mistake after mistake. You're like, oh gosh, dudes, you can't do that.
JPP and Shaq would never do that.
Well, Shaq wouldn't for sure.
Rookie mistake.
JPP can make mistakes. He makes up for it real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It was surprising we only had the one sack. We were getting a lot of pressure on him, but he was just getting out. He was just running away from people. There was a couple times he ran back like 20 yards, and I was thinking, oh, I want to sack him, get that big 20-yard sack.
Mm-hmm. And then he'd throw it away.
Yeah, he just chunk it.
Yeah.
And then one time Vita Vea came at him, and Vita tried to jump. Yeah, he was like, nope, I'm out of this one. Vita jumped. He did his 4 or 5 inch jump.
I know.
And then like tripped over a dude that was laying ground, fell on his face.
But thank God that he did, because he would have hit Zach Wilson and he would have got a penalty.
Yeah, yeah. Which that brings me to, we had 2 personal foul penalties, one on 66 Ryan Jensen and one on 74 Ali Marpet. Neither one of those were shown, and I have no idea what they were.
I know. They didn't do a replay at all. And you're like...
Well, they did a replay with Jensen, but they couldn't see anything.
Nothing was... He was just kind of in the guy's face, but he didn't... I mean, it's not like he headbutted him.
And this was right after they had done a little segment about how Jensen is so fierce and the referees have to go over to him every game and say, calm down.
They showed the head ref going and talking to him.
Yeah. Yeah, and right after that, he gets that personal foul penalty, and I'm like, whoa, wait a minute.
Which, has he even gotten one this season?
Oh, he gets them all the time.
Does he?
Yeah.
A personal foul?
I think he's got like 4 this year. One thing about all judicial processes, there's kind of two requirements for judicial processes to work. One, the rules have to be clear and consistent. 2, they have to be transparent. This is all judicial processes. Mm-hmm. They have to be transparent. Now, we have an issue with the NFL rules. They're not clear in a lot of instances. Like people still aren't sure what a catch is. People still aren't sure what pass interference is. People still aren't sure what intentional grounding is. People aren't really sure what roughing the quarterback is. And none of these are consistent. It's really hard to watch the games a lot. But man, when you get 2 personal foul calls on guys and you don't know why, mm-hmm. that totally takes away the transparency. These refs could be just pulling this crap out of their butt. Mm-hmm. It could be like, oh, I heard him say something about that guy's mama. It's like, well, is that a foul now? You can't talk about guys' moms? I don't know. Are we ever going to find out? I'm going to look at it on all 22, but it probably won't show it if it was after the play. So we have no idea what those penalties were. Even if they were legitimate, we won't know it. It'd be nice to get some explanation on that. And if we would have lost the game, fans would really be pissed about that.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to fact check you. He has 2 offensive holding, 1 unnecessary roughness, 1 unsportsmanlike conduct, and 1 taunting.
So is that 2 or 3 personal fouls?
I lost it. Okay. An unnecessary roughness.
That's a personal foul.
And unsportsmanlike conduct.
That's a personal foul.
Taunting.
Personal foul.
He hurt my feelings.
He hurt my feelings.
Shut up.
It's so sad,
I
man.
hate it.
So sad. Taunting.
Taunting.
Well,
Stupid.
I thought the whole not being allowed to celebrate was dumb. And that was in the NFL for years and years and years. Everybody hated it. And as soon as they get rid of that, they put taunting in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's just like, it's a no fun league, man.
It's true.
Yeah. We had 2 offsides penalties on their first drive. I can't remember who it was. I'm going to say Nelson was one of them. But that helped them move down the field and get that first touchdown.
Okay, one was on Sue. That was the first play, basically. Yeah. Defensive offsides, 5 yards. Yeah, so that was on Sue. And then you said there was a second one?
Yeah, on that same drive.
Oh, Tryon, but that one was declined.
Ah, okay. Okay. So for all the people who like to keep track of this stuff, we had 4 penalties for 39 yards. And they had 2 penalties for 14 yards. So we lost the penalty match again.
Won the game.
Stats should say that we should lose the
4
game.
penalties? That is ridiculous.
Yeah, 2 of them were on the first drive.
I feel like I have never... I think last year we were kind of like this towards the end too, but it just blows my mind that you can have a team that only has 4 penalties.
It doesn't feel right, does it?
I know. I'm just like, wow, that's small.
Yeah. Let me see. You said the 1 penalty was declined. Okay,
Yeah.
so we just had the 1 offsides penalty.
Correct.
On the first drive.
Yeah.
Oh, did they get a touchdown on that penalty is why they declined it? Don't know.
Let me look. No. Oh, he got to the Tampa Bay one. So they got to the 1 yard line.
Okay.
9 yards.
Yeah.
And so yeah. That's why they declined it.
Yeah, we said this in our preview that they're fast. The Jets are fast. And they definitely showed it. And they got energy, man. Those guys play. They don't play like a 4 and 12
They're like
team.
12. That's why.
Yeah, they are. They're young.
You see that quarterback?
Yeah.
Can he grow a beard? Did you see any inkling of facial hair there?
He's
like,
got the pencil
has he
in.
gone through puberty? That's what I want to know. He looked young. He was young.
Babe, that's what it is. They're a very young team. I mean, their secondary is all, rookies, first-year guys?
Oh, my God. One of these fools went up to Tom Brady and got him to sign a ball afterwards on the Jets team.
There's going to be guys coming in the league next year who were not born.
I think it's all these guys.
They've known Tom Brady. Tom Brady's been a quarterback their whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, this defensive back, I think it was Eccles.
Got Brady to sign his jersey or a ball?
No, a ball. He had a ball. And I was like, oh, that better not be the one that got intercepted. Oh, wait, what?
It was.
Eccles did. Well, hold on. Let me check and make sure it was Eccles because it might not have been. It might have been somebody else.
I'm surprised Brady didn't grab it and shove it down his throat.
Yeah, I hit him in the face with it. That's
Spit
what I
on
would have
him.
done.
Yeah, what was up with that interception? Was that a bad pass by Brady or?
I don't remember.
He expected Evans to fight for it or something? I don't know.
It was Eccles that he signed the ball.
That's smart on Eccles' part, though. That ball's worth a lot of money. It will
Even more now that Tom Brady signed it.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I hope Tom Brady just drew a picture of a middle finger.
Mike Evans had a good game. That first touchdown, I really liked that.
Yes.
I like the way he pushes off defenders. It is so smooth.
He did one where he grabbed over the defender's helmet and then pushed the back of his helmet and then caught the ball. He did a little with his arm. Got him right out of the way. I wonder if he had brothers. I feel like that's something. With brothers, you kind of learn how to...
Very physical.
hand fighting.
Yeah. Yeah. Evans had a great day. Ended up with, we've got it here, seven targets, 4 receptions, 47 yards, and a touchdown. Damn, it seemed like it was more than that.
I know. Well, he had that bomb for 31 yards.
Right.
And wasn't that a touchdown? Was that the touchdown? Can't remember.
No. Was it a 31-yard touchdown? I don't think they were out that far.
Yeah.
But the big boy was Rob Gronkowski.
He's back, baby.
Yeah, we've been saying this for weeks now. What is up with him?
Yeah.
And then he comes in, pops off 7 receptions for 115 yards.
What if we find out it's something like Levante David again? You know, something's going on in his personal life, and he's just not all there. But
I hope that's not it.
Apparently, he's fine.
Yeah, he was making some great catches. But again, the thing with Gronkowski, it's not his catching. It's taking him down.
He's so hard to get down.
He always gets an extra 5, 10, 15 yards.
With defenders hanging off of him.
Yeah, there was one. He caught it on the sideline. 2 guys hit him. They both bounced off. Gronk didn't even look. It didn't even look like it phased him. And he had 2 guys laying on the ground.
Oh my gosh, like dazed.
Yeah, it's amazing. That guy, he's built like a tank. Big pop-high forearms. Swear to God, I got to screen grab that press conference.
Oh yeah, it was weird anatomy.
Very strange. Cyril Grayson, second leading receiver. 8 targets, 6 receptions, 81 yards, long of 33.
Man, that clutch catch at the end there.
That was sweet.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Perfect. Tyler Johnson.
Tyler Johnson. 3rd place.
Okay. So he had a drop that was like really important. Oh, wasn't it the drop in the end zone? Like he should have had that touchdown. And then we scored a field goal.
Field goal. Yep.
So that was annoying to me. I'm like, dude, you got to make that catch. It like bounced off his face or something. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, it was dead. No, it was right in his hands.
Yeah,
right?
He should have had that.
Yeah, definitely.
Wide open. But then on the, I think, game-winning drive, he had a drop, and then Brady went to him immediately afterwards, and he picked up the first down. Mm-hmm. It was a great catch.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, those guys stepped up. In the first half, Rod Gronkowski had 5 receptions for 80 yards. Mike Evans had 3 receptions for 39 yards. Brown had 3 receptions for 26 yards. And let's see, Johnson had 1 reception for 9 yards. So those guys came in the second half. I mean, Gronkowski already had 80 yards. He only picked up 35 more yards in the second half.
That's crazy.
Yeah. The rest of the second half was Johnson, Perryman, and Doink. Grayson. The power of Grayskull.
I know. So listen to this too. This is crazy. Our receivers, here is their long. Gronk had a 24-yard long. Grayson, 33. Tyler Johnson, 27. Mike Evans, 31. Brashad Perryman, 32. Le'Veon Bell, 15. Antonio Brown, 21. They didn't have their longest was 24 yards.
Really?
Yeah, and we had 3 over 30.
Wow. Yeah, we were killing them in the passing game, weren't we? They were whooping us in the running game, though. Which Ronald Jones and Vaughn both got hurt in this game.
What in the world is going on with these people? Okay, this Rojo has got to get it together.
Got to, man.
Like when Fournette went out, right? Mm-hmm. And then Rojo got his chance, and then he took himself out of the game because he was gassed.
Yeah.
And then yesterday, apparently, he was also hurt. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I didn't see anything. It wasn't until you started seeing Le'Veon Bell out there, and I'm like, what happened to Rojo? They put Vaughn out, and normally they rotate the running backs by series. That's what we've been doing for years here. And they put Vaughn in, and then Vaughn stayed in for the next series. And I was like, what happened to Rojo? And then Vaughn stayed in for another series. And then next thing I know, Le'Veon Bell's out there. I was like, where'd our running backs go? You didn't hear anything. You didn't see them hurt? They weren't carted off the field? I don't know. I still don't know what happened to them.
I mean, it's a good thing we don't need a run game.
Yeah, it's true. How do we do running? We got
62 yards.
62 yards. Wow, they had 150.
Yeah.
Eesh. Well, it don't look like we're going to get the number one run defense again this year for the third year in a row, which would have been a record.
Dang.
That's sad. I think we're in third or fourth right now.
Oh, okay.
I don't even know if it would be possible for us to get it. Maybe if we completely shut down the Panthers.
Right, they get
running.
Like 10 yards. Okay, let's talk about that Arians guy. He is like a smaller, he's so small. Again, like where did they recruit?
Munchkinville?
In elementary school? What are you doing? I think it's because that Robert Saleh is short. So he's like, oh, can't be having a bunch of people taller than me. Anyway, Arians. Smaller Adam Humphries. Fast. He's so fast.
Tricky.
Apparently he's a free agent at the end of the season. Just throwing that out there, guys.
But you want him?
Sure. Are you offering? Can we?
I'll talk to his agent.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, we ended up with 467 yards total on the day.
Whoa.
They had 374.
And that was 410 receiving. That's ridiculous.
That is insane. We had 72 plays to their 60. 33-minute time of possession to their 26.
Just outrageous.
27. Yeah.
And it should not have been that close.
Nah. But they were able to get chunk plays on us.
Yeah.
Mainly in the running game and the screen.
Mm-hmm. They did a lot of screens. And that was kind of what annoyed me with our defense is they were kind of running up to the blockers. They were not getting off their blocks on those screens.
Yeah. You kept pointing that out.
Yeah.
You're like, why is that guy running into the blocker?
Why is he running into them? Or they'd be on the wrong side of the blocker and got, went right by him.
Right. Yeah. And that's where players like Levante David, I mean, that's like his, he's an elite level at getting off of blocks or avoiding blocks. Mm-hmm. Makes a difference, The game is all about blocking and tackling, if you ask me. Mm-hmm. If you can't do one of those, you're screwed. We're pretty good at it. Our tackling, I'm just not a big fan of the modern day tackling, but I don't think our tackling is that great. We got some good tacklers, but generally, overall, our tackling on defense is suspect.
Yeah, too many missed tackles or bad technique.
Yeah,
I agree. Definitely something they need to work on.
Yeah, or do they? We're winning.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, what's a missed tackle here or there?
Whatever.
Yeah, God, we had 10 plays over 15 yards. Wow. I might have had more than that. That's just all I got listed.
Listen, Tom Brady had more completions than Zach Wilson had attempts.
Wow.
Tom Brady went 34 for 50 for 410 yards. That's just stupid. I hope he's eating a lot of avocado today.
50 passes? Gosh.
50 passes. I know. 34 completions. Zach Wilson had 19 completions in 33 attempts.
Wow.
Just ridiculous.
You reckon Brady's going to get MVP, or you think it's going to be Aaron Rodgers? Is it going to come down to next week? We're both playing
Stupid
crappy
Aaron
teams.
Rodgers.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. I'm a little concerned about seeing them in the playoffs because I think they want revenge, and the Packers are hot this year. That concerned me.
I'm just not impressed with them. Just not.
I know, but they're on a roll in a way that we were on a roll last season, and it seems that we can't get that same ump this season.
Yeah. Injuries really hurt us this year.
Really bad. But I'm not convinced that it's going to be better once we get everybody back from injury. I don't know. Remains to be seen.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe in the team, but I'm just... we got to do something. They got to get it together.
I think they'll be all right. But I'm like you. I don't have the confidence I did last year at this time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, going into the playoffs last year, I was like, oh, we're smoking everybody. And this year, I'm just kind of like, hey, we've, you know, I really expected us to be a lot better this year.
Well, I think everyone, you know, we have a target on our backs because we're defending Super Bowl champs. So that's what happens is you set the standard. And so everybody is fighting to meet that or play better. And it's like you said, everyone brings their A game against us. Like you have to.
Yeah.
And we're still 12-4, even with everyone bringing their A game. So we got that going for us.
And are we just being spoiled? I mean, we're 12. We have a better record than we did last year. We're going into the playoffs, not as a wild card, but as a division leader. Most likely going to get the second seed. Worst case scenario is third seed, right?
I think so.
So we're going to have minimum 1 game home playoffs, most likely 2. If we get the second seed, Green Bay ends up getting knocked out, then we've got home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Much better than it was last year. And here we are sitting here talking about, this team's not as good as it was last year. Or it's not as energetic, or it just doesn't seem to be kicking on all cylinders like it was.
Yeah. Yeah. That's where I would say we don't have that energy. We don't have that cohesion yet. I mean, but I do think a lot of the cohesion issue are the injuries.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the guys who would be cohesive, who have practiced together, played together, they're not in right now. But they will be. And they'll be rested. So that'll be, I think, a good thing going into the playoffs.
Yes.
We'll get a lot of guys who are.
Right, and we got a lot of guys who, you know, all of them actually were here last year. They've been through this. You know, they're gearing up for the playoffs.
That's how I feel too. I almost feel like they're saving their energy for the playoffs.
I'm hoping that's.
I know. Please.
Because some of the stuff I've seen on the field, I'm just like, ugh. How do we even get to be 12-4? But
yeah,
I think it is. We're just spoiled.
Yeah, I agree.
Of course, we want to see every time we step out on the field, you know, we score 100 points and make no mistakes. But when you watch, like, you know, you watch the Jets and Jaguars game, or any of these games that we end up watching, a lot of times we just sit there and we go, gosh, how is this a professional football team? They just make mistakes left and right. It's really a game of have-nots, you know, who can make the fewest mistakes. You know, and we're at the top level. We're at the, you know, elite level. So we're used to seeing really good football all the damn time. We have for 2 years now. So if it's not like super elite, we get all whiny.
I know.
They're not playing good football.
Right. But you have to remember, too, Tom Brady, every year at the Patriots, had this kind of record, 12-4, you know, 11-5, whatever. And, I mean, his record speaks for itself. So, but you're right. We got a little spoiled. And, yeah, you don't want to think about, I mean, I can recall seasons where the Patriots lost to, like, Cleveland during their 1-11 season, or Detroit, or whoever. So it is any given Sunday, and although a lot of bad NFL teams like look really bad, the drop off really isn't that much. From a professional, a good team to a really bad team.
Yes. It's kind of like most sports, you know. I mean, the difference between the best and the worst is not that much. When you look at it in the aggregate, whatever. You know, it's like if you go and watch a high school football team, oh my God. It's struggle to get through most of the time. You're like, this is just bad football.
That is why I cannot watch college. It is not entertaining to me. They're terrible.
Right. Most colleges are really bad football.
Yeah. And most games are really lopsided. You get one that's good and one that sucks, and you're just like, ugh. And then the score is like 80-5.
Yeah, you get some ridiculous ones out there.
Who is this entertaining for?
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. What about that Tom Brady's delay of game penalty? What was that all about?
Oh, my God. The ref was in the way. The ref didn't back up until like there was a second on the play clock, and then the ref backed up. So Tom was screaming at that ref. He was pissed, and he should have been, because that was on the ref. That was not. He was trying to get the ball off. The freaking ref wouldn't move his ass.
Damn, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Well, I was watching the clock, and it went 0, it went 1, 0, and then we snapped it. Usually if you snap it within a second of it hitting 0, they never call.
Guys, we just put, was it in the New Orleans game where they gave them like three extra seconds or something like that?
Even the announcers were like, well, that's a little drawn out.
Yeah.
Again, it's a whole consistency with the refs and stuff. But I don't think the refs did a bad job, though. I had to see the game film, but I didn't see a bunch of egregious crap.
Tom Brady made sure to pay him in advance this time.
Does he pay him in Bitcoin so it's untraceable?
Probably like time with Giselle.
Whoa, how can I become a ref? We didn't have our first punt of the game until halfway through the second quarter.
Really?
Both of us got the ball. We only had the ball once in the first quarter. They ended up getting it twice. And I think it would have been a different game if we wouldn't have thrown that interception too. That put them in really good field position. They were able to get, I think they got a field goal or a touchdown going into the half.
Let me look. Yeah. I'm looking.
So, I think they
got a field goal.
And then they punted from like our 5-yard line. It was a bad punt. We ended up getting the ball at the 47. There was some mistakes on their part, that really helped us in this game. I'm like you though. I'm like we should have beat the mess out of them. But I don't think they're that bad of a team. They're just young. Mm-hmm. They make a lot of silly mistakes, and they probably played their best football of the year. Mm-hmm. Against us.
They're with the Jets, so the cards are stacked against them.
Yeah.
I mean, some franchises, as Bucs fans well know, are cursed.
Cursed.
We
ain't cursed no more. We broke all that stuff.
I know.
We got record holders. Every time he throws a pass, it's a new record.
I know.
But so there was that Jensen penalty, and then right after it, almost immediately after it,
like 2
was
plays
it the
later.
next play? Yeah, Ali Marpet got called.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea what they were for. Just personal fouls.
I know.
Don't like that.
Okay. Yeah, so I think it was the first drive of the second quarter, that's where Jensen got flagged at like 12:25. And then, so that drive ended in a punt, and then the Jets got the ball back, scored a touchdown. We get the ball back. And then, so at 6:16 in the second quarter, so 6 minutes later, that's when Marpet got flagged.
Seemed like it was almost back to back.
I know, it did feel that way.
Yeah. That Jensen sack, and again, I say this all the time, not all stats are not equal. That sack was huge.
Jensen gave up?
Nelson.
Oh, Nelson. Yeah.
98 Nelson. That was a huge sack. And he earned that sack. That wasn't one of those gimme sacks or anything like that. It was, we were down by 1 score, 7 points. That was in the third quarter, right? No, fourth quarter. The start of the fourth quarter. And it was on third down. So he made them punt the ball, and that's when we went down the field. We ended up getting a field goal, but we stopped them from scoring anyhow. So that's a huge sack. Third down sack, fourth quarter. down 1 score, and he legitimately beat 70. He was just whooped him.
Whooped. Yeah. I was wrong. That was in the 3rd quarter. That was not the 2nd quarter.
What?
The Marpet and Jensen penalty.
Okay. Yeah, so, again, got to give Nelson the game ball. Just
a game ball.
He just had some great stats, but he was just all over the place.
Yeah. I noticed Golston, too. He was after it.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was having a pretty good showing.
I don't think he got that many snaps, though. Who got more snaps?
And he didn't, show up on the stat sheet like Nelson did.
Yeah. Let's see. He got 43% of the defensive snaps. Golston did. Nelson got 95%.
Woo!
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And good for Nelson. I like him. People that fan base, I think, has been a little hard on Nelson.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit. You see some slander on Twitter.
Damn, he had the most snaps on our defensive line of all of our linebackers. He had more snaps than Minter, than Tryon, and Sue, than Edwards, than Vita, than Dean, than Golston, Desir, Nacho, Gill, all of them. The only people he didn't have more snaps than was Winfield, White, and Whitehead. Wow. They all had 100% of the snaps.
Yay. Oh, do you want to talk about that
Davis.
SMB story and Jamel Dean? So they cleared the COVID protocols, and we're supposed to take a private jet up to the stadium. And I think they had gotten to the airport. They were at the airport and learned that their pilot had tested positive for coronavirus. So,
from what I heard, SMB got the text that the pilot was sick, had coronavirus, but he thought it was a joke. So they drove out to the airport and ended up sitting there for 2 hours.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
So they had to find a new pilot. And then apparently they got rerouted because of some bad weather. And they ended up in Canada. And then I think they had to, I don't know, did they drive down from Canada? I don't think so.
I don't know.
That's too far.
Yeah.
And, but anyway, they eventually made they did not get there for warm-ups. I think the game had already started and they came out.
I know 30 minutes before the game, they hadn't arrived yet.
Yeah.
So I think what happened is they got there and then they did some warm-up because they didn't start them. And I don't remember seeing them until the second half. Yeah. Honestly, they might have come in the second quarter. I'm not sure, but they had them stretch and warm up and everything before they got out on the field. That's important.
I know.
Don't want to go out there cold.
I know. It's cold too.
Speaking of which, Vaughn. I think Vaughn did pretty good. I noticed he had a great block in protection. They did a blitz. The Jets love to blitz, but they did a blitz straight up the middle, and Vaughn laid out, man, sacrificed himself. Almost flipped the dude up on him.
What?
Yeah. I was all like, woohoo. Love to see that.
Yeah.
He'll get the starting job if he keeps that up.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with Fournette at the end of the year? He's only on a 1-year contract. He's probably going to want big money. We're not going to pay him big money.
Oh, this is what we said last year. Same thing. I don't know. I think you pay him. Bring him back and pay him. I know BA doesn't like to do that.
Well, we're going to have to pay Godwin, get him a contract. I don't know. We might franchise him again. Who knows?
Maybe. We can't franchise Fournette, right? He's a veteran.
God, we don't want to.
Can you? I don't know.
That'd cost us a lot of money.
Oh. Yeah, well, he's going to want a lot of money.
Yeah, we'll see. BA does not pay running backs a lot of money.
I know.
Yeah, so we get the ball. They had the ball. They were on our 6, I think it was, and 4th and 2. And they went for it. And we stuffed them. I mean, I think he lost a yard.
I think so too.
And, we got the ball. That was just dumb coaching. What were they thinking? You go, okay, I can kick it, get a field goal, be up by 7. They have to get a touchdown just to tie it. Or we could go for it, get a touchdown, and then it'll be a 2-score game with 2 minutes left. I guess that's what they were thinking. They were trying to put it out of reach.
Yeah, I think they didn't want to tie.
They obviously thought they were going to get that.
They did not want to have to go to overtime with us.
My God.
And I guess they had faith that they could stop our Tom Brady.
I don't think they thought they were not going to get that first down. It was only 2 yards.
I know. They didn't know who they were dealing with.
I guess not. They know now, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Booyah! So, it was great. We just marched down the field, and that Grayson catch, 33-yard touchdown, was just awesome.
I could rewatch that drive 100 times. The rest of the game, no thank you.
Now, see, I thought it was an entertaining game.
Yeah. Did you?
There was a lot of big plays, but then, not like huge plays, not like 60-yard bombs, but it seemed like both teams were getting these 15, 20, 30-yard plays, just bam, bam, bam. So that's fun. Of course, I don't like it when it happens to us. I like it when we're the one doing that, but it does make it entertaining.
Whew. I was confident at halftime, less so by like 7 minutes in the fourth quarter. I was like, oh, it's over. We're done. We're done here. It's going to be a bad day.
Well, at halftime, we were only down like 7, right?
Yeah.
They had us up by 2 scores, but it was brief. It was brief. 14 points, I think. I think I was at...
Like in the fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter,
yeah.
Was it fourth quarter?
Yeah.
Damn.
I think so.
Yeah. I felt pretty confident the whole game. You don't have me on video freaking out, Dave. We're going to lose to the Jets.
Man, we're going to lose this game. All right, let's talk about playoffs real quick.
Playoffs?
So, right now, we are in a 2-way tie with the Rams. We really need the Rams to lose so we can get that 2nd seed. We're currently 3rd seed. And the Cowboys are 11-5. Who did they lose to?
Win.
I don't know. How are they 11-5? They were right there with us. They just lost.
I thought they beat the crap out of the Redskins.
Oh, they might have. Oh, crap. I clicked too much. All right.
Calm down with the clicking.
I know. I'm like a senior with my AOL wasn't working. My dial-up. Okay. Oh, Arizona. They just lost Arizona. 25-22. Dallas lost to Arizona. Yeah. Which that was a big deal for Arizona. Well, now it appears, if all stays the same, probably won't, that the Cardinals are going to play the Cowboys in the first round. I know. They're like,
if everything stays the way it is now.
It stays the way. So the only team who has not clinched a playoff berth is San Francisco in the wild card. That one's still up for grabs. So they are 9-7. New Orleans is 8-8 and is the only team not mathematically eliminated from playoffs. So depending on whatever happens this week, it could be New Orleans in the 6th seed.
So if New Orleans wins and 49ers lose, New Orleans gets in.
I think
so. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Oh, that would suck. I don't want the Saints going to the playoffs.
And New Orleans is playing Atlanta. San Francisco is playing the Rams.
What if we do the same thing we did last year? We played the same teams. Well, let's see. Washington came to. We end up playing New Orleans, beating them. Green Bay beating them to make it to the Super Bowl. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
I know. It would be.
So the Rams are playing the 49ers Sunday next week. The Rams have not beat the 49ers in like 2 years, right?
I don't know.
The 49ers have the Rams number. So we need the Rams to lose so we could get that 2nd seed. And we need to win.
Yeah.
If that happens, we get the second seed. There's no way we can get the first seed. That's
Right.
mathematically impossible.
Correct. I don't know. Like, what if Green Bay... Oh, we need Green Bay to be down a game on us, right? We need to be up a game on Green Bay.
Yeah, we can't tie with them.
Okay, got it. Okay. So, yeah, San Francisco fighting for that playoff spot the last week. And New Orleans still fighting. So,
But New Orleans need help. They
need San Francisco to lose.
Yes. San Francisco's got to lose. I don't want New Orleans to go to the playoffs because I just don't like them.
I know.
I wouldn't mind beating them again in the playoffs, but it'd be nice to not have them in the playoffs. God, they've been in the playoffs every year for so long, it seems like.
I don't know.
Same thing with
nice
Green Bay.
To see them, like, tank, though.
Yeah.
Get there and lose.
That is fun.
Losers.
So far we've got Dallas is in, Philadelphia's in, the Eagles?
Yes. They've clinched.
Green Bay's in, Tampa Bay's in, the Rams are in, and the Cardinals are in. So there's one more spot open.
Mm-hmm.
And it's between the Saints and the 49ers.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I'd rather play the 49ers.
Yeah, me too.
I'd rather beat the Saints, though.
I know. Agree.
It's just so much fun beating them.
I know.
That last year was awesome.
I know. That game alone was just...
Yeah. We kept saying, we don't even care if we make it to the Super Bowl. we knocked the Saints out. That was fun.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about AFC, because this is kind of fun. I haven't really kept up with them as much. And there have been some big changes. Tennessee is the first seed, apparently, at 11-5. And Chiefs are also 11-5, but they're number 2. Losers. And then the Bengals locked up AFC. What are they? AFC North, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Locked it up at 10-6. Everyone else is done. And
really?
Yeah.
Nobody else in there can do anything?
Well, Baltimore... Yeah, it said they locked up the division. Baltimore is not out of the playoff hunt, but they're like way down. They're 11th right now.
Oh my God.
In the conference.
So the Steelers and the Browns have no shot.
Correct. They're eliminated.
And they're playing tonight.
Oh, wait. Pittsburgh. No. Pittsburgh is 9th seed right now. So they are fighting for a playoff spot. I was incorrect.
Okay. How about Cleveland?
No, they're eliminated.
Really?
Yeah. They're 7-8.
Yeah.
Pittsburgh is 7-7-1. So they technically are not. Like if they went out and because everyone ahead of them is 9-7. There's 3 teams: Indianapolis, Chargers, and Vegas, and they're all 9-7. And so if they all lose out and Pittsburgh wins,
gotcha.
Well,
I don't know either.
I just don't see how that can work. Because they play tonight, because they're one game down. They're Monday night.
Right.
They haven't finished this week. So technically, they could win 2 games. Right. And if everyone else loses, they might have it some way or another.
Now, they're tied. They had a tie with Detroit. Now, shouldn't that be an asterisk? I mean, if you tie with Detroit, is it really a tie? I mean,
no, there are no asterisks in football. And here's the thing with the tie, though, it's better than a loss.
Right, yeah.
Technically.
Yeah.
So I think that's why they might
But when you
still
tie
be alive.
with Detroit, it shouldn't be.
I know. You're right. You're right. So that conference is crazy. The Bills now have the AFC East at 10-6 over the Patriots at 10-6. So I guess they have tiebreaker somehow. And they have not clinched the division. They've clinched a play. Both teams have clinched a playoff berth, but they haven't clinched the division. Buffalo plays the Jets. New England plays Miami. So 2 division games. So we'll see how that shakes out. And so they have 2 wild card spots open, Indianapolis and the Chargers currently at 6 and 7 respectively. And Vegas and Pittsburgh and Baltimore are all fighting for a playoff spot.
Sweet.
So,
it's coming up. You know, it's so sad. I was looking on the calendar and this is our last regular season game.
I know.
Just coming up. It's so sad, man. I'm like,
It's
I mean, I'm
crazy.
excited about the playoffs coming, but you're like, wow, football season's almost over.
I know.
Yeah.
Black Monday right around the corner.
Yeah. Time to hibernate.
Todd Bowles interviewed for the Jags head coaching job today.
Oh, he did.
He did. Indeed. And what did you say happened with Byron Leftwich? Or retell that story?
He said it was disrespectful.
Well, Todd Bowles did not think so.
Bowles obviously is like, yeah, I ain't got no respect.
Well, I know. And he's like, well, now that Byron's out of the way, I got a better shot.
Does he
I'm
really
kidding.
want the
He had a way better
Jaguars?
shot. I know. He wants that.
Ugh.
I know. It's like coaching the Jets. Didn't you learn your lesson, Todd?
You would think. Don't go to these bottom feeder teams with horrible ownership.
I mean,
All right, let's get out of here. Let's wrap this up.
Do
I'm
it.
starving,
Me
and we got
too.
football.
need a sandwich.
Go
All
make
right.
me a sandwich, too. All right, guys. Great game. Very entertaining. It was the Jets, and it shouldn't have been that close. But, they played good. I mean, they came out, they wanted to win.
Hey, they held their own. Kudos to them.
Got to give them some props, man. I'm sure they're very proud. Very proud of that. And they'll probably be a better team next year. They look like they're getting better.
Mm-hmm.
I just really like the energy they play with.
They're young.
You see some of these teams, like the Texans and the Jaguars. Well, the Jaguars not too bad.
Yeah. But they all just look like they don't want to be there.
Yeah, the Panthers, man, they're just blah. So, all right, guys, it was a good game, good entertaining game. We wrapped it up. We won it. No asterisks in the win column. We got that win. Getting closer to the playoffs, baby. We need to beat the Kittens coming up Sunday, and then it's 100% do or die from then on out. Anything else to say?
Nope.
Okay. All right, let's go get something to eat. Guys, till next time.
Go Bucs.